Mumbo. Well, for this update, I am going to focus on the students at the Britain Science of Mind Slum School. The renos that you've been hearing about and the addition to the upper floor of the school has made such an incredibly remarkable difference for the students, the teachers, the whole school. What a difference. The classrooms are bigger, they're brighter, and they don't have to jam a bunch of classes together. There's a total of 11 teachers at the school from baby class to class age 8, which means there's 11 classes and 11 teachers, and that's for a total of 265 students are registered at the school. I was out there yesterday and I did a bunch of pictures, but the school just reopened on Wednesday after the last break, so many of the students haven't reported for classes yet. So in the pictures you're going to notice that the classrooms are smaller. The number of students are smaller, but you're going to get a really good idea of what the classrooms look like. So here they start the children out at school at 3 years old in baby class. And these babies are in a regular classroom setting, just like the rest of the kids. This year, they actually purchased some tables, or had them made, and some small plastic chairs. So baby class, nursery class for the 4-year-olds, and kindergarten class all have a different setting. They're not at desks anymore. So that's really cool. But up until this point, they have no toys other than a couple of balls and skipping ropes that the entire school shares. And so they have a curriculum, and they sit at their desks and they study and they draw and they color just like other older classes. So this year, there is in baby class, they have 11 babies. Nursery class, they have 14 registered, and for 5-year-olds, they call it pre-unit. We would call it kindergarten. This year they have 22 kids in that class, and in that class they're actually starting to read, do arithmetic, math, all kinds of activities in that class as well. So in the downstairs, where last year it was all of the entire school was there, now they've got it separated from baby class to class 3 are downstairs, and there's a total of 87 students that are in the downstairs area. Plus they have built a beautiful new office for Jeffrey and Wilkester to work out of. They've got a room that's going to be eventually a teacher's lounge. Right now it's kind of a storage room. And they have another room where the is like a sitting room for the class 8 boys sleep in that room. They have 10 of the class 8 boys that are actually sleeping and living at the school with 2 of the teachers that stay with them. For various reasons, some of these boys are orphans. For many of them, it's just not safe for them to be out on the streets or to even go home. So they're living at the school. They now have a whole room where they're cooking the food in the kitchen and keeping the supplies. Also, that's downstairs as well. Upstairs, they have from class 4 to class 8, and there's a total of 131 students in the upper grades. And also upstairs, they've built another room where some of the boys take their mats to sleep on at night, and because they've got 10 of them staying there now. And they've actually built me an office. I haven't set it up yet, but I think they're wanting me to spend more time out at the school. So enjoy the pictures, and you'll get a bigger idea of what's going on there. But can you imagine? There's 265 students and 11 teachers and 2 administrators all in that little tiny space. It's quite remarkable during school days. So, on a different note, in March, we held an all day event in support of International Women's Day. And my roommate, Rosiah, who is one of the practitioner students, organized this day. And there was various different spiritual leaders from in the community that she invited in to speak on different aspects of empowering women. And we had 45 women here that day that stayed for the day, participated. We had a potluck lunch together. It was just marvelous. I did a visioning workshop as the last workshop of the day, and people just loved it. There were 10 of these women that were there were Science and Mind students, and the rest were just other interested people out in the community. So it was really a wonderful opportunity for people to connect and spend the day together. So the adult classes are continuing on as per usual. I now have, I think, the same as what I had last time, because I don't think I've got a new class in since the last time I gave you an update. But to recap, there's 35 adult students in 5 different classes, including the 5 students in the practitioner class. And so one of the classes that I'm teaching is the Metaphysical Bible class. And it's a really fascinating class to teach them because they have been so immersed in fundamental evangelical Christianity. And so for them to get a metaphysical interpretation of some of these stories is so enlightening for them. So one of the men that is in the class, his name is Simon, he was sharing with me the other day that he went, he's some kind of a lay leader or something at the traditional church that he still attends with his family. And he was doing the sermon a couple of weeks ago. So he decided to do the sermon on the using this metaphysical interpretation of the prodigal son story. And he said, so it was pure science of mind, this talk that he did. So I was quite impressed with that. And he was telling me that at the end of it, several of the people came up to him and asked them, had he been attending university in order to learn what he learned? And he shared with me, he was laughing, he said, what they don't understand is any of the universities here wouldn't be teaching the metaphysical interpretation. So, so that was just fascinating. So the last thing I really want to tell you about is to let you know where we're at with our plans that are unfolding for the 2020 conference, the first African conference, which we're really excited about. So we have a committee of about 12 people that are meeting monthly. Every other month we are doing visioning, and following the vision that's been coming up, one of the things that came through so clearly in the visioning is to create an experience that is uniquely Kenyan, and giving the people that come here a real opportunity to connect with some of the local students that come here to classes. And so I found a really wonderful venue that is just maybe a half an hour out of Nairobi, out of the outskirts, and it overlooks the Nairobi National Park. And so there's the national park, there's a river, and then there's this lodge called Masai Lodge that is overlooking the park. It is just a really, really unique place, very traditional Kenyan. And so it's looking like that's going to be a wonderful place to have probably more like a retreat setting. It's looking like that this is going to be. But we're also going to do a couple of things around the conference. We're going to be having an add-on before the conference for about 3 or 4 days to do sightseeing around the Nairobi area, and there is so much to see. There's the baby elephant sanctuary, there's the giraffe sanctuary, there's Bomas of Kenya, where you can go and see the traditional tribal dances, and just really, really interesting places to visit, all sort of in this same area. And then we're going to do another add-on after the conference for another 3 or 4 days to add on a safari to the Masai Mara, because really, what would a trip to Kenya be without going on safari to the Masai Mara? And so make sure that you save this date if you've got any interest in coming and joining us and coming to play. It's going to be a magnificent event. The date that the actual conference is from January 30th to February the 2nd, 2020. So I look forward to seeing many of you come to that event, and have a wonderful fundraiser, and it's such an awesome experience that you're all part of here, and I appreciate all of your support once again. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.